Welcome back, everybody, as we get into the ban phase here for, let's see. We're Testable versus TD Blaze. TD Blaze, obviously, going to get streamed twice in a row just because of fortunate scheduling. We're joined here today by your play-by-play Banana Bread XD and my color caster TDS. How you doing today, man?
Excited. I want to see what these teams can do, especially because we're watching a game between two teams that are in two of the top houses in our leagues. So this should put one of the houses ahead of the other. So this should be exciting. I hope to see really good games. We need to inform that the first three bans from TD Blaze were taken down. So even though you see the team of the Isol and the Mundo, those are because placeholder bans because they lose their bans because of Anissa.
Yep. As we start getting to the pick phase here, Zaya is going to be a first pick for Testable, or where Testable. He does play Zaya. Zaya is his most played, so I'm gonna see if the Rakan is still left open. Zachary is still left on the table here. For Anderson Cooper, he is pretty, or no, it's not Anderson Cooper. It's Allfire 26. He is the sub jungler, so he does play a lot of Zach. It's his second most played. Zach has a lot of gank potential, but you kind of need to get like about level 4 or 5 so you can get a couple of those levels into your E. This is week 2 of sophomore class here, as Jinx is going to be grabbed here for Toxin. He did super well on it last week. He had a really interesting game, or no, it wasn't Toxin, but Varus was played. He kind of fell off a little bit, but he redeemed himself with the Ashe. Nautilus is hovered here, and it looks like it might be grabbed. Nautilus is also Aggressor's most played support, and it's going to be locked in.
Yeah, and there's a lot of things that we can take away just from this Champions Select. We can see that the side from Testables wants to secure comfort before everything else, just from seeing the Saya, the Nautilus come in. The Nocturne here can be a little bit of a throwaway in terms of comfortability, just because Nocturne is a really good flex and you can play that around in a couple of lanes, so it's not really that easy to know where it will go. So I like this pick overall. Then from the side of TD Blaze, the Zac, like you were saying, it's not only the fact that it's his main champion, one of his most played, but Zac reforms the way to play the game just because of how his ganking works, how his ability works, and his setups. So it's a really interesting pick to try and see what Testables can try and do to play around the Zac. The Jinx and the Leona, to some degree, are really standard. Jinx is a really good AD carry overall in the meta. Obviously, she's right now in a spot where she's strong, but she's not the strongest just because Ezreal is now a lot more present with the Sunderer buffs, as well as Senna being Senna, and other AD carries kind of stepping up a little bit, but Jinx is still a really good AD carry overall, and you love to see it whenever you can. She's also a really good champion, I feel like, against Saya. And the Leona is just an overall really good engaged support. Although against Nautilus, she may have a little bit of a hard time, it's still a really good support overall. And then we're seeing the bans from TD Blaze. They're banning Yasuo. I'm kind of surprised to see that ban, even if someone is really good with the champion.
Yeah, it is Gamma Knight's, he is like a silver one-trick Yasuo player. So taking that off the table, as much as it might be a deterrence, you do have the Leona and the Zac, so that's a lot of CC to lock down the Yasuo, but Wind Wall and stuff deters Jinx a lot, removes her ability to be able to get hyper really fast. So it looks like Urgot is going to be banned here, Yasuo and Fiora banned for the side of TD Blaze. As you said, Leona is like a slight counter to Nautilus, just because the hook is really big. Leona can have the ability to always constantly stand in front as long as she does have the W available.
Yeah.
Makes her very tanky. It has flat resistances, magic and armor, with magic resist and armor, with also a flat damage reduction buff. So that's what makes Leona like one of those really strong champions. Illaoi is going to be hovered here for Feathers and Fur. It is one of his most played top laners. Illaoi is... She's like, basically, she does really well into a team that dives in, and with the Nautilus Nocturne, those are one of the few things. Nocturne is very nice to dive on the Jinx, but it just really depends on how the Leona and Zac play. With Zac and Nocturne, it's very interesting because they both have like really long engage ranges, so they kind of change the way that you play the game, that if you don't spot them, you're probably going to expect some kind of like engage from a really weird flank angle.
Yeah, that is true. But it's kind of with the second de Leona. Okay, are we going to see the win? I hope we see the win. But quickly before they pick the win, the second de Leona, you were saying if you don't see them, you pretty much are going to get engaged from a really far away distance, and they can engage really easily. But I feel like the Ilaoi goes a little bit against that principle because she needs people to kind of come into them because of how her tentacles will work. So I think it's kind of counterintuitive to pick that champion there. But like you were saying, this can be just mainly a comfort thing. Because Feathers and Fur, I remember him from the tournaments we did before the league started, and he's a player that likes these kinds of champions, these kind of melee bruisers. Ilaoi specifically, he played that a lot, so I think this just goes perfectly with the comfort. But I like a lot the answer from Galio and Gwen as well. Galio to pair up with the Nocturne to try and go in, and the Gwen will be so good as a tank shredder apart from the Saya, and she can deny so much with her shroud. It can be so impactful in fights, and I think that she can have a lot of impact against Ilaoi on top lane as well. And then Corki last pick. Corki is Corki. I think everyone knows just what that champion will do and how he needs to play this game. So I think all around, really interesting compositions from both sides. Specifically, Testables, I think they're going for something really aggressive that needs to not get ahead really early, but if they get ahead, they can just take over the game. So that's something that they need to take into account a lot.
Yep. TD plays, they do have a pretty decent composition depending on how they want to play it. They can either play, front to back, protect the double carry kind of composition, or you can play that kind of dive composition and go really deep. Just because Corki and Jinx have a lot of range, Jinx, all those previous buffs, they haven't been reverted or she hasn't been nerfed as much. Her item did get like a couple touches, but Jinx is still like insanely strong as a carry just because of all the recent buffs, max health, health gain, range on her rockets, stuff like that. Galio, Galio Nocturne, that's just a basic kind of delivery system combination there. Gwen is the 1000 cuts passive, does like at around level 16, once you get into like the mid game, around level 10, 11, they'll start doing about 3% max health damage as magic damage. So that's really nasty, and a lot of your abilities apply that 1000 cuts passive really fast sequentially in a row, so it's very hard to kind of gauge how hard you're going to get bursted, and you kind of underestimate that damage. Xayah is just really nice because you're drafting this hard dive composition knowing that you're going into a Xayah, and she's one of the few ADCs that has really, really good self-peel with her ult being untargetable.
Yeah. But one of the things with the Xayah that I'm kind of sad we saw so early her picking is that she typically comes in as a counter to Kai'Sa, which I really don't think that she's that great as a counter against Kai'Sa, but she comes in like that, and I feel like Xayah should not be a contestable pick enough to secure first pick. There's champions like Gwen, Viego that can come in later. These Jinx can be more contested. The Ezreal is banned, but he can be more contested. So I feel like Rumble as well, other champions kind of fall more into the position of a first pick champion, and the Xayah can perfectly just come later on. And I don't think that TD Blaze would contest that champion pick. I don't think it's such a really high priority champion that you just have to go for that. And I think the Jinx would have come either way. So focusing so much on the first pick Xayah kind of gives away a little bit towards what you really are afraid of with your bot lane, because with this you pretty much expect to not die, to try and give your AD carry something that can survive on its own, because the rest of the game you're not going to play around your AD carry.
Yep. As the pick phase is over, man, looking at both these compositions, they do have pretty good scalings once they hit it around. Like, we expect really big things the moment it hits level 6, because it's going to be there's going to be a lot of big fights around the Drakes. I generally expect to see the Xayah Nautilus get a little bit more priority. I expect to see Nautilus get the Drake probably when it first spawns. And if you do farm enough, you will generally hit level 6 around either 5-6 minutes if you farm very well. The top lane, it's kind of a mash fest. They're both just constantly going to be fighting each other constantly. And Gwen they both have a lot of sustain, they have a lot of innate healing in their passives. So that's going to be like mostly just a lot of poking and smacking around. Junglers, they're hard farming junglers. They both have pretty nice clears and they have a lot of mobility in their kits. So I expect to see them kind of farm up a little bit more, maybe. Like a lot of things are going to be focused around bot side just because of the amount of pressure that is done with the Nautilus and the Leona support. Zaya,
Yeah.
Jinx, that is a pretty. Those both scale very, very hard, but it just depends on if Jinx can get the hyper. If she gets the hyper, then it is a little bit harder for the Zaya to do things, but she should be fine as long as TD Blades are kind of playing into the hands of the Zaya, into the feathers, and they're all diving right in, and they just get pulled back and hurt them really hard.
Which you can pretty much expect with the Zac and Leona kind of doing. Just, I feel like the Saya just comes in here as a placeholder so that Shade doesn't need to do really anything and survive so that he can do the damage, because the focus, I think it's a lot obvious that it's going to be the Galio Nocturne. They are going to dive in, try and get on top of the Jinx or the Corki, and then have follow-up from the Nautilus and the Gwen. These 4 champions are the main requirements for teamfights to go the side of Testables, and if they fail, the Saya really can't do that much to change anything. Her ultimate is mainly to try and keep her as safe as possible without actually having to interact with anyone. And that's why I also feel like you were saying, the teamfights are going to be really contestable. I think both sides can have a lot of power in teamfights, but I feel like the start of the teamfights, the first 10 seconds of teamfights, when Nocturne ultimate comes in, Galio ultimate comes in, are going to be the most crucial for the side of Testables. If the side from TD Blaze is able to survive that long, then longer teamfights are going to go in their favor because of the Jinx, the Corki, and the Zac and Leona re-engage can be really important in that regard.
Yeah, Corki, Jinx, very hard scaling ADCs here. Expect to see a lot of great things with the Nocturne Galio combinations. Also, very nice combinations with the Leona and the Zachary. But as we wait for the spectator delay to go down and we go on to the Summoner's Rift, we'll be taking a short little break. So don't y'all go anywhere. We'll be right back. Yeah, we're synced. Hello, welcome back, everybody, as we get onto Summoner's Rift between We Are Testables and TD Blaze. Wow, I just realized that's terrible. Test. Need to think about that now. But as we start getting into the game, looks like not anything not any crazy hijinks here, as both teams are going to opt for a very safe start in the 5 point.
Yeah, I feel kind of disappointed with that. I think both teams have a little bit of a good level 1 with both support with the stuns. So both sides can try and go for something cheesy, but really respectable for each side. They really don't need to force anything. It's just I wanted to see some action at the start.
Yeah, definitely wanted to see something, a couple crazy hijinks, but they're just gonna kind of stay safe, not willing to give any kind of leeway in the game. But overall, looks like nothing too crazy in the rune choices or summoner choices. Everything's pretty substandard.
Yeah.
But overall, looks like both junglers are going to start in their bot side here, so it looks like they might meet up in the top side. It's preferable that Zach might want to start the opposite, just because you don't want to meet the Nocturne at any point. And Zach can't has a lot of good clear, so he can start red side also, but
Yeah,
it is a matter of personal preference.
that's also why I'm kind of surprised because I feel like Zac can get more power out of the red buff just because it's not also the fact that he doesn't really use mana, but the chicken clear into rocks I think gives more power to the Zac than going to Wolf's Grump. I think it's probably a little bit better in that regard, and that way, engage, a
Well, it
lot of
looks like on the
damage.
bot side is they're gonna be a little bit of punching back and forth here. Both supports just gonna exchange a little bit of CC, but
Good
both
aggressiveness.
sides are gonna be taken down to about 25 top side here. Swift side are walking up really aggressive there with the scissors, gonna snip the tentacles all the way down there. But otherwise, nothing's too crazy here. Bot lane's just hit level 2. Ooh,
Close.
ooh, almost rooted her with the feathers too.
Yeah. Nice trades bot lane. We're seeing a lot of action between both bot lanes, and I think that they understand that if they can get on top of someone, then that someone can be dealt so much damage. Specifically at this level 2 mark, the Saya Nautilus can burst someone out, kind of like a Tristana Rel in that regard. So I like this kind of aggression we're seeing. And on top side, I was expecting the one to be able to fight toe to toe with Illaoi, but I wasn't expecting her to be kind of that strong against her. Ooh, I thought he was going for a hook right there.
Yeah, bot side, just because the Jinx is lower health. I mean, the
Yep.
Xayah with the feathers is aiming very well with the Q. So, and the placement of the feathers kind of makes it very hard for it doesn't give like Jinx a lot of places to go without getting chunked out a lot here.
Yeah.
Both junglers opting just for a full clear here. Galio, as expected, kind of getting early priority in
Oh,
the lane
she's
here.
dead.
Oh, bot side here. Leona's gonna flash first blood going over to the Nautilus with the ignite, so that it's gonna be two summoners for one heal and flash for the Leona and the Jinx, but only ignite for the Nautilus.
Yeah, and they didn't really need to do anything fancy to try and get that kill. One level ahead, they go for a hook, and because of the placement of the pairs, like you were saying, they were able to just stack the CC up, and then with Ignite, really easy kill. The Leona flashed after she was already almost done with her health, so it was just such a useless flash to get out, and now they have the opportunity to try and pull it off whenever they want to pull it off.
Yeah, that's the thing with like in like this elo is or like it's just in general for League of Legends is you always think that you might kind of get out unscathed, but there's always like that one little tidbit because people sometimes forget that ignite does apply like a pretty
Yeah.
heavy grievous wounds early, and the heal doesn't really do much early either. So you're only gonna get about like 40-50 HP back, which isn't much when each tick of ignite does about 10-20.
Yeah, it was going to be her fate was kind of already decided. You hate to see that she does that, but it's still overall. I just want to give credit to the bot lane from Shade and Aggressor. They have been playing that lane how they should, and like you were saying, they should have priority with this. Even though they are pushed a little bit now, the Xayah has such a huge lead in comparison to the Jinx. It's a pickaxe against two just longswords. So their trades should be really good from now on, and they have a small freeze. So now the Jinx is even more forced to move forward and try and get into a bad position, something that the bot lane from Testables really want to do.
Yeah, so far, looking at CSD across the map at about 5 minutes, top lane Alawi has about a 10 CS lead. That CS lead might be quelled a little bit as Gwen does get back to her top wave, forces to use the teleport a little early there. Xayah doesn't have much of a CS lead just because Jinx was pushed under tower, so she did collect that. Galio is having a little bit of a hard time farming. Cork has about a 15 CS lead. But it is to be expected in the ranged melee matchup. Galio, it's a little bit harder to farm just because of your passive. Junglers are farming
Ooh, nice
relatively well. They're both just kind of looking for full clears here. Jinx is going to have to flash into bot side. Hook's going to land. Dredgeline's going to go down, but Jinx is going to go down to about half health. So Zac is here. He only has a level 2 E here. He might hit him under tower. There goes the Zenith Blade going straight onto the Xayah. Stretching strikes, not going to quite land yet. Xayah's going to flash on out. Might die here, but he's going to flash away from the Zac. Going to land straight back onto the Jinx. They might kill the Jinx here. Also gets the...
She died? She's dead?
Down. Toxin's going to go down here. Jinx is out. But it looks like
he will survive.
He's going to get another kill. There goes the Blobules coming out. But the Xayah should be able to get it back. He's going to come back. And there goes the Zac. And that's a 3-for-1 in the bot lane for the side of Test.
Yeah, and it's not only the fact that it's a 3-for-1, it could have been worse. It was close to being a 3-for-nothing. They played that so well. I feel like if Shade didn't have heal but instead cleanse, they may be able to pull off something else. But either way, such a good way to answer that gank. And I feel like it was so forced from all fire. Like you were saying, the jump from the Zac is not yet level 2. I don't think he leveled that up to be level 2 or level 3 even. So the distance was not going to be that long. And because of that, he's not able to get on top of the Xayah that easily. It had to be self-forcing the flash on top of her to try and stun her. And even with all of that, the Jinx was just getting collapsed by the Nautilus. He did so much CC to her, so much damage to her. And it was just an easy kill at the start and then the cleanup from the Xayah.
And just the E was level 2 at the time, so it barely missed. It just barely missed by a little bit. And she flashed just in the nick of time to not get smacked together with the stretching strikes because the Nautilus blocked the first Q. So that was just a very, very nice job for the Nautilus, knowing his damage limits, knowing that he probably might not, or he could have gotten out, but he decided to go back in, knew he could turn it around. The feathers were in the right position. You know, that's the power of the Xayah, you know. You can't really dive really hard on a Xayah just because there's that danger of the feathers being put into a really nice position. And when I said this was the Xayah's most played, I wasn't exaggerating. It's like 600,000 mastery points on Xayah. So overall, nothing too crazy around the map here. Corky's going to get himself a 25 CS lead in the mid lane here, which is huge. Xayah is going to get a kill lead for herself. And Nautilus also does get 1-2 here. And Toxin is just getting chunked out super, super hard. Shade, again, knowing where to put the feathers, knowing when to get the root out, and getting that little short burst of damage with the Lethal Tempo also.
Yeah, and just watch the difference in items. It's a Noon Quiver, Pickaxe, and Dagger against 2 Longswords and a Dagger. You're pretty much losing almost every trade if you try to fight in any way, and if not because of those CS difference in top lane and mid lane, this could have been a really huge difference already for the side of Testables without the jungler actually having done anything yet. And Nocturne is already level 6. And Galio is already level 6 as well. Their ultimates are up. They can go for a play anywhere and try and force something else, apart from the fact that the bot lane is already winning.
Yeah, it looks like top lane, always a little bit of aggressive poking around, you know. Otherwise, CS lead isn't too terrible. As you said, both junglers are level 6 now, so they will have a lot of power in the gank potential. Rift Herald is up here already. It's only about a 1k gold lead for where Testable, so nothing too crazy. Corky is not going to quite roam, just going to get a little bit of vision in the bot pixel, but yeah, like the Xayah and the Nautilus are just posturing so aggressively just because they know they can't really get the Xayah as long as the Featherstorm is up, and Nautilus does put a lot of damage down. And Nautilus is one of those supports that can punish really hard. Dredgeline's going to land here. Root's not going to quite come out. CC Chain is going to go down onto the Xayah here. Lots of feathers coming back. Going to chunk out the Leona super low, about less than half of her HP there. but that should be the end of the fight. Both Shay did get chunked to about half health just because he was a little bit in tower range there.
Yeah, if not for those tower shots, that could have been an even better trade for the side of Testables. But they still will get the push. The ultimate is still active, so if they try to do anything fancy, she can just pull the Feather Storm, like you were saying, and survive anything that they try to do. So it's not really that important. And it seems like they're setting something because Nocturne is bot side, and I don't think they know that. Yeah. Oof.
Yep, there goes the Paranoid. Jinx is going to get taken down by the Nautilus here. Stun's going down, but Nautilus is going to get traded back. Zaya's going to use the Feather Storm, but here comes the hero's entrance, and kill goes over to Nocturne. But topside here, it's going to be a solo bolo for Feathers and Fur, as Swift Cyber gets hit a little bit too much there in the top lane.
Yeah, what a smack he got. The last tentacle destroyed the HP. But we were talking about this. The level 6s were coming for Nocturne, for Galio. It's just an easy go bot lane, dive the turret, kill them both. It's really that easy. But the side from TD Blaze are going to secure that first turret just because they now have the Herald. They were posturing topside, so this is still a really good play by them trying to answer macro with macro. And now the God lead shrunk. In fact, TD Blaze now has the gold lead because of this.
Honestly, top tower was getting pretty low already,
Yeah.
so probably a little bit unnecessary. It was it was one plate. I don't think, yeah, the Rift Herald's not going to get a second charge here, so they will get the lead. It's going to go to the Allow, which is a little bit of a weird piece in their kind of plan, but
Yeah.
it's not nothing too crazy here. Both bot laners are going to get spotted by the on the side of TD Blaze on the Scuttle there, but they're posturing for this Drake already. First Drake did go to the side of Test, as I said before. Infernal Drake's going to be up next, so there is like a little chart that you can kind of predict what the next soul will be, but I don't have it on me at the moment. But it should
As
be
long
an
as
ocean
it's
or
not
cloud.
cloud. As
Yeah,
long as
if it's
not
cloud, it's not
please.
that cool. But Nocturne's gonna go in a little bit early. They're gonna get
What?
he's gonna steal it back, but he's not gonna get out. But Alawi does get the kill there. She's gonna teleport in. Soulfire going onto the Xayah. Xayah is gonna get flashed on by the Zac. So she is in the back line here. But there goes the Gwen getting a lot of damage with the snip, snip, snip. And there goes Chitin. He's gonna get hit with the dredge line here. Zac trying to get as much damage as he can. Going back in with the E. Still gonna get the globules. Lowy is going to go into the back line. Going to get a really big ult. She's going to get a lot of tentacles down. Getting multiple kills here. And shut down onto the Xayah. Zell is going to pick up the kill on the aggressor. Supportal on supportal combat. Gwen's going to have to back on out there. As it's going to be a 4 for 2. But the Drake does go over to Test.
Yeah, but that could have been cleaner from the side of Test. They got the Drake by the flash from Vegeta-sama, even though I don't condone going for that play because you're already at a good enough position, and it's not that much of an important Drake or Soul because it's now Cloud Soul. He got the steal. So now, and then they try and engage full force, but they overforce a little too much. The Zac wasn't able to kill the Saya instantly with the Corki. It ended up being such a good and strange but kind of good fight from Test because they were able to kill the Corki, kill the Jinx to some degree, although that didn't really matter, and they got the passive from the Zac. But because they went into a chokehold against an Ilaoi, they ended up just giving them what they wanted to do and ended up giving 3 kills for the Ilaoi really easily. So really strange turn of events, I think.
Yeah, very interesting because Alawi did get that first tower goal. She did have like an extra 1,000 gold on her over the rest of the team. So she did get that very, very big, massive influx of gold. She had her mythic first here. Zac's going to go
Zac
bot.
should be able
There
not
goes
to
the
get it,
Zenith Blade right
Nice
onto
cancel.
the Xayah here. But cancel of the jump there. Solar Feather going to go down straight onto the Xayah. Xayah should get chunked out here. Feather's going to be dodged over. But it looks like, and Jinx is going to get excited. She will get that was a very nice Zenith Blade there.
Yeah.
So Nautilus is going to get stunned up here, going to get hit back with a stretching strike, interrupted. Jinx going to get the kill. Hero's Entrance coming in, seeing if Gamma Mite can get a return kill. Winds of War going to pick up the shutdown on the Leona here, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 for the side in favor of the side of TD Blaze.
Yeah, and this time around, the Zac goes in for the gank, and this time he has the distance to be able to get on top of the Saya really easily. I'm surprised the Saya didn't use her Feather Storm to try and deny that. And gank top lane.
Ooh, looks like top lane here. Paranoia is going to go straight onto the Alawi. Stopwatch is going to avoid the fear. Gwen's chunked out a little too much so she can't turn on that kill. So very, very nice job for Alawi, being that aggressor in the top lane.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised now watching the build from the Gwen. She went for Nashor's Tooth first, that item, instead of going
Rift Maker.
for yeah,
Rift
Riftmaker,
Maker, yeah.
which would give him a little bit of a chance to try and fight against the Lao with the lifesteal. Oh, they're collapsing on
Ooh.
the. No, he's running away. Good job by there by the Galio. He doesn't really need to be there, although they can try and force something.
Ooh, walk it to the alcove. It is gonna give
He's
Leon a little
alone.
space to go in, but yeah, nobody's really around, so nobody's really gonna
Okay, yeah.
follow up on that there. But Galio knowing that Zachary might be in a weird spot there, but like yeah, like we said before, Zach is one of those champions. He changes the map completely where you put your vision, just because of the weird angle that he can come from. Gwen is getting severely chunked in this top lane here. There goes the leap of faith, gonna chunk out the Gwen a little bit more, but she should be able to walk out safely here. As you said, like, I'm surprised she didn't go for a Rift Maker first, just because that's just a really big damage spike. Bot lane here, Galliar's gonna go in, but he does land a double taunt there. Gamma might gonna get
He's
really,
dead.
really low. Rocket's going down. Toxin's gonna get on a killing spree here. Galliar, what are you doing, man? But bot lane here, Zell might be caught out here. Nah, he's just gonna walk around the corner. Zap is gonna land onto the Zaya, but that's gonna be all. Drake's gonna be up in about 55 seconds here. This is going to be sole point if Test are able to contest this Drake here. But Swift Cypher
Yeah.
is super, super behind. So it is advisable that they don't. And Corgi's going for Sunder. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's perfectly viable just because we were talking, and I think I mentioned this a lot, honestly, that if you can go any Shin build, you can pretty much just go Sunder instead of Trinity Force because it's just way much better. And we have seen a lot of adaptations from the Corki build. Some have gone for the Shield Bow, some Kraken Slayer. I think this can still be viable.
Ooh,
Oh, wait, engage
Dreadline
bot.
going onto the Jinx here. Paranoia going to go down, but it's going to be flashed out. But
Can
Vegeta
he get
somehow
the
he's going
kill?
to go right in. Is he going
Oh,
to get
nice.
the kill? Will finally get the shutdown onto the Jinx. Stretching strikes go onto the Nocturne, but
that
Nocturne might be able to walk out here. Soulfare's going to miss completely. Zenblade goes straight onto the Zaya. Zaya's trying to get as much
Corki's
damage as he
here.
can, but the Corki is coming in with the pack. It should pick up, clean it up with a bucket in the
Oh,
mud.
no.
But Nocturne gets interrupted with the stretching strike, and that's going to be a triple kill over to Kaiten.
Yeah, that was a cute attempt by the side from Test. They were going for that bot lane play, and they were able to kill the Jinx. Really nice flash by Toxin, though, to be able to survive that. But they try and force that so much, and I feel like if Gamarad was even close by, he has his ultimate. He can just walk down there. You don't need to do anything mid lane. Just go support your team. Your ultimate is so much value towards those type of dive plays. And if he's close by, maybe they can pull that off even better. But sadly, for Test side, it was just a 2-for-1, for a 1-for-3. They didn't even get another kill, so it's really nice for the side of TD Blaze. And now they get the Drake. They are probably going to be able to get this sword uncontested because now Dilos is the only one that is going down. So it's so much more gold into the pockets of TD Blaze.
Yeah, I'm really
Or guess
surprised
not.
Galio stayed mid there. I mean,
Yeah,
you being like you're a tank, you're not really pseudo tank. You're not really gonna push towers super fast. Like, yeah, you can push the lane really, really hard, but you're not gonna take towers fast by any means at all. So
yeah.
really surprised he stayed there instead of kind of looking for roams and trying to contest this Corki, as he is one of the only few people that can contest them very well. But Gold Lead's going to swing over to the side of TD Blaze. They pick up a lot of extra money there. They're going to be up about 2.5k gold. Gwen's in the top side, trying to farm up as much as she can here. Still down about 33 CS. Nocturne, obviously farming very, very well. He already has the Stride Breaker, so he's going to be very, very strong. He's not going to one-shot somebody, but he is going to be very, very hard to kill when he's jumping on straight onto the Jinx. And he has a
Yeah.
lot of ways to kind of mitigate the CC with the barrier. But it looks like this Rift
I'm
Herald
not
is
sure
going to
they can
start a
fight
Super
this.
Mega
It always
Death
coming.
Rocket going away, but Alawi is going to be able to clear this war here. Zach going to go in, but Stretching Strike not quite going to land here. You're not quite going to get rooted. Going to have to flash out of the fear. Alawi going to put this leap of faith down onto Shade, but they have to be careful about dodging these tentacles here as the Zach goes straight on in. Stretching Strike, Hero's Entrance coming on in, but Feathers Fur picks up the shutdown onto Zai. Gonna go unstoppable here as the Alawi is gonna regen up here with the Guardian Angel. Vegeta Sama Hakai is gonna have to go out, but Kaiten is gonna pick up the kill with the Flash Forward and the Rockets. Kaiten gonna go on a rampage here, 3 for none. Jinx is in the bot side without their ADC.
Yeah.
And the Rift Herald should, nope, it's gonna despawn here. And the gold lead's gonna go up about another 3k now.
Yeah. Well, just to give merit towards the side of TD Blaze as well. They have another 80 carry apart from the Jinx, so even if Jinx is not there, they will have the 80 damage coming from an important source in the Corki. But that team fight was really well played by the side of TD Blaze. They were collapsing on the enemies, and Feathers and Fur knows that he's really strong. He had that Guardian Angel already built, so he can just dive in however way he pleases, and he will be able to accomplish his objective because he's going to come back, and after that, more tentacles will come on top of you. Shade dies to a tentacle that he didn't even saw, and he didn't even knew was alive. That's the power, one of the powers of Ilaoi as well. And that team fight was just so many good engages from the Zac, so many good engages from the Leona, Ilaoi being ahead. And I think that that could be the story of the game going forward because I don't feel like Test have any answers towards what to do against an Ilaoi, against the Zac, against the Leona. Even though Ilaoi really just walks forward and is able to get so much, even without the team actually protecting their Eradicator. It is one of my worries with the Shade on the Saya, that apart from the Feather Storm, you don't have any other way to survive. The Feather Storm Gale Force, but even with all of that, you can die really easily.
Yeah, really, it's pretty hard to go into the Illaoi just because of the dive-centric comp that Test do have for themselves here. They also don't have any grievous wounds here for the large amount of healing coming from the Zac, Illaoi, and the Corki with the newly buffed Divine Sunderer. So, still waiting for some of those grievous wounds to come out. Like, both ADCs, they have no fear. They're just both walking up.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, like I said, the Illaoi wasn't contested at all in the early game, even though she was pushing super aggressively. Nocturne never went top, kind of kept farming up until level 6, sent it bot lane. But at this point, the lead is pretty much negligible. Like, the Jinx is scaling super hard now. She already has 2 items. Both ADCs are on par, but you also have a Corki with a fully stacked Muramana and a Sunderer with boots and a Zeal as he starts just getting nothing but stronger.
Yeah, and it would be one thing if it was that Ilaoi wasn't contested, but instead they were getting something on the side of the map. And until some point they were really fighting a lot in bot lane, getting a lot of advantages, priority. They are going for a Baron play. There's no vision on this side of the map.
Yeah, only person here is Illaoi, but how much is she gonna do? They are stacked right in the pit pretty hard here, so Illaoi's gonna walk down. Pingers are coming out now. So it looks like they're going to try to get out. Dredgeline's going to go straight into Illaoi here. All of them are kind of dogpiling. They're going to try to CC her as much as possible.
Nice.
She will get taken down, but Jesus Hakai is going to try to get on out as much as possible. But he's going to get taken down with a smack of the tentacle there, as Shade is also going to get taken down. Corki's going to pick up a double kill. Very nice package. And that should be a Baron for the side of TD Blaze.
Yeah, and the plays seem like kind of cute and good enough to try.
Oh, what happened there? Gwen also went out. That's going to be a slightly delayed ace.
Gwen died. She was coming from the jungle. She just went and died with it. That's about what happened to her. She wasn't really that impactful on the team fight. And I like the idea of going for a decisive play like that, but I'm surprised they didn't just pull up the trigger against the Illaoi top lane, because she was alone. If you can go for that kind of play, you can just go top lane and kill Illaoi alone. It would have been more effective. And if the Corki TPs, then you can probably get a 2-for-1 because the rest of the team were on the other side of the map. And so I'm kind of surprised they didn't just go for that play. You get a shotgun, you get more gold. And they were able to get the kill on the Illaoi before she's able to do anything else. But because the Illaoi ulti was able to come off in that small skirmish, the rest of the team were able to collapse, get a lot of damage, and then just clean up the kills that Illaoi was going to get either way.
Yeah, that was a really nice package there from the Corki. Locks down Shade in a very tight spot there. Also gets Vegeta-sama Hakai there. Also in a tight spot with the package. So Corki coming in very nice with the cleanup. Zac has really long engage range, so nothing too worried about. It's going to be a Cloud Soul, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's going to be 2 Cloud Drakes. That's a lot. That's very useful for the Leona, which already has a really low cooldown on the ultimate and the Leap of Faith from the Illaoi.
Yeah, so the value, like you were saying, the value is, but it's still useful for some of the champions here. And I think the most important thing is that this Drake, I think it's probably not the most valuable thing. So it doesn't really matter if either side get the soul. And because they didn't have the first 2 Drakes, it's going to take even longer to get to the Elder Dragon, which I feel would have been the objective to save the game for Test. But because it's so long before that arrives, then TD Blaze will have a lot of time and a lot of space to be able to do whatever they want on the map.
Yeah, honestly, right now, Galio and Gwen aren't, doing too much. Gwen getting really very
Yeah,
punished with the Allawi, but
nice
whoa,
hook.
Zach's gonna
Oh,
get
nice
interrupted
hook.
there with the dredge line. He's gonna get go blobbed up. Galio is gonna go in, but there goes the knock up onto the Corki
We
there
have
in the back line.
paranoia.
Soulfire going straight onto the Nocturne there, but Nocturne's gonna go straight back with the paranoia. Kazai gonna flash on forward aggressively, but Jinx is getting really, really
Oh,
excited.
close.
She's trying to kite out as much as she can here. Is she gonna pick up the quadra kill? Not quite. Nocturne is gonna pick up the return kill. Gwen's finally gonna get 2 kills for herself, but Alawi is still topside, still sieging down that top inhibitor's tower. She
She
doesn't
will
have the
get
Baron,
that.
so it is get taken down really, really slow here.
Yeah.
But Gwen's finally coming over to test, so it is gonna be top lane 1v1 for a little bit.
But I don't think she can win that. Gwen is one level behind and is one whole behind. She doesn't even have a mythic, so Ilaoi should be able to do whatever she wants, although she's running away. But it's a nice play from Test. They were able to just control the sack before he was able to do anything. A really clutch hook by Aggressor to get the sack from running away, and then they were able to kill it. I'm surprised Paranoia took so long to be used, and the Galio didn't even ultimate. If they use a combo from Paranoia and ultimate, then maybe they can clean up that fight more in a more clean manner, and the Saya doesn't need to use her flash aggressively or any of her spells aggressively, instead trying to survive herself and not dying like that. But overall, it's a positive trade. You stop the push, you stop them from taking your turret. They didn't get any inhibitor from this play, and now you're buying yourselves time to be able to scale with the Saya with the win.
Yeah, that fight definitely turned it around a little bit, but Toxin is very, very strong. He already
Yeah.
has his IE. Um, I do see a little bit more often that Jinxes do either go for the Runeans or the Phantom Dancer just because they both kind of do the same thing. They allow more damage overall. Just the PD is a little bit more of a safer option, especially with the kind of lack of front line from the side of Test. Zell is coming in from the side here, not going to quite go for the engage, but there goes a zap onto the Zaya, forcing out the heal, going to get chunked
Yeah.
out. Alawi is contesting this top side. Not much can be done here as Corki is ushering in the bot wave and this mid tier 2 is getting siege.
Yeah, Corki has TP, so he can respond to at any moment. He can arrive at any fight. And Ilaoi should not be really contested by the Gwen alone, because the Ilaoi still has the Guardian Angel. Dies, she can just come back and try and kill the Gwen after that. The Gwen still needs a little bit of time. And like you're saying, she's just focusing on the Herald, on the Inhibitor. There's not much that the Gwen can do to try and stop it.
Top side here, Feathers and Fur gonna
Ooh,
have to
force
flash out
flash.
from the dread line here. Mid tier 2 is finally gonna go down.
Good
Corki is
decision.
resetting. Package is up. Teleport is also up. Drake's gonna spawn in about 30 seconds here. No vision really, except for that one lone control ward for the side of Test. They are gonna walk up here, not sure. Looks like they are gonna try to contest it, but they are gonna be a little bit late to the party as Zach goes over the wall. Teleport
They can
coming
give
in
it
from the
up,
Alawi.
honestly.
Yeah, Gwen is top side. She's super under level. She does have the teleport to come back in. Dredgeline gonna miss it. Zenblade goes
Why are
straight
they
onto the Nautilus there. Stretching Strikes going onto the back line
through that?
of Test. But there goes the Jinx. Gonna get excited here. Gonna pick up 1 kill as the Corki picks up 2. Both carries are doing all the work this game. Looks like they could run it down mid-top, try to end the game here. 30-second death timers for Vegeta, Gamma Knight, and Aggressor. Mid-tier mid inhibitor tower is gonna get siege here. Zach is gonna go in, gonna knock up the Gwen here, but oh, that's a
Bye.
lot of burst. Corki picks up a
That's it.
double kill, and that should be the end of the game
Yeah.
here. 15-second death timer for Vegeta, Gamma Knight, about 15 seconds. Also, Aggressor coming up in about 10, but
It's
what
too
are
early
they gonna
carries.
do as
Yeah.
everything's getting bursted with the double carry composition? And game 1 goes over to TD Blaze in this best of 3 series.
Yeah, and fully deserved. They were losing bot side in the 10-15 minutes, and in not even 10-15 minutes, first 15 minutes, first 10 minutes, and some way, somehow, they just pulled it, stopped everything that Test were trying to do. Topside was winning, then they countered every attempt from Test to be able to do anything bot side. They answered that, they won those fights, and the Jinx eventually just scaled, and she was able to just be a damage dealer with the Corki. It's just so interesting how the game ended up developing, because I thought if they keep on forcing with the Galio, with the Nocturne, going against the Jinx botlane, then they should be able to win most fights. But I don't really recall any Galio ultimate apart. any good Galio ultimate apart from the first one on the dive on bot lane. That's about it. Gamma Knight didn't really have that much of an impact with a champion that it's pretty much just use your ultimate, get with the Nocturne, and get some kills. That's about it.
Yeah, I didn't really see those combos that much. They didn't really.
Yeah.
Gamma Knight stayed in lane a lot, especially against the Corki. Even though he was at a deficit, he could have roamed a little bit more, made more of an impact, trying to put down this Jinx and Leona with the Zac always coming bot. So really surprised they didn't kind of take advantage of that wombo combo there. Didn't also they didn't punish the Alawi top, so she was able just to free farm, pretty much knock down the first inhibitor tower top side by herself. But overall, it was a very nice job. They waited. TD Blaze waited for that scaling. 29 minutes flat, 30 to 15. Just the scaling was just too much for the side
Yeah.
of TD Blaze. In the end, they did take the game here. But any final thoughts before we go to break here, man?
For me, it's that their decision making. There was one decision that I really liked that was Baron, and I would have traded that for an even better decision and just killed the Ilaoi. But overall, they just go for fights kind of randomly without actually thinking what they can accomplish with that. And I had hope that the early game could have been a good transition into them winning the game from the side of Test. But I just feel like TD Blaze are the better team overall. They, as soon as they had a winning chance or any little lead that they could have gotten, they just kept pushing forward. There was no stopping them. They just knew what to do better. They just knew where to be. They just knew what to take advantage of more than the side from Test. And I'm not really hopeful for game two from Test unless they try and do something else.
Yep. Shade, even though he tried his best, did the most damage in the game, period. Wasn't enough to bring his team over the finish line. But as we start getting ready to load onto the Rift and get ready for pick draft for game 2 here in sophomore week 2, we are just going to be taking a short little break as we start getting the lobby ready. So don't y'all go anywhere. Welcome back, Summoners, as we are in draft for game 2 between Test versus TDB. As we start looking at the draft here, wow. TD Blade's gonna straight up ban out Zelly or Aggressive. He did do really well with the Nautilus, so not surprised to see those bans out, trying to buff up Toxin up a little bit more. Corki, Ezreal, Yone gonna be the bans here for the side of Test. They are really fearful. Respect ban of the Corki coming out here now that they get looking at their bans. But TD Blaze now using all their bans to ban out pretty much the bot lane, just because they want to put Toxin in a really nice spot to carry, similarly to what he did last game, seeing what they first pick here, as Nocturne's going to be taken off the table, as both junglers do play it, and it is a pretty highly contested pick, as Kai'Sa's grabbed here for Shade.
Yeah, instantaneously, and it didn't really much take too much. Like you were saying, the bans pretty much tell us that they know that the bot lane can probably be the more dangerous part from Test, so banning them away as much as possible is probably the best idea. They give away the Leona and the Kai'Sa though. That is a good combo because of Kai'Sa's passive, something that can be taken a lot of advantage in lane, even though there's some champions that can counter them still, like the Tristana. It's still available that can go against the Kai'Sa, even though she has been nerfed a little bit with the what was the rune called? What is
Halo
it called?
Blades nerf.
Yeah, Halo Blades nerf that affected Tristana to some degree, but she's still a playable champion, and she's still, I think, good into Kai'Sa in the early stages of the lane, so that is something that you can see. But the set picked up, and what I love from these two first picks from TD Blaze, is that these two are still flex picks. You don't know if they are going top lane, jungle, support, or mid. Like that, you are still on the gray with this, and you don't know which comes. And I think that you should pick an AD carry here just to keep them as concealed as possible. Samira, nice pick.
Ooh. Yeah, Set is, if this does go into the support position, Set is kind of like a old school counter to Leona, just because he's very good playing into engage support in it, that he can also return like a ton of damage with the W. And so it looks like Tess is gonna call the bluff and think that Set is going top lane here, as they opt for the Fiora. Fiora was also played last week by Swift Cyber. He plays a lot of like these skirmishy kind of bruisers in the top lane.
Yeah.
So Fiora is gonna get grabbed on the table here. Does very well in the 1v1 and the split push, similarly to what he did last game. So we'll see what he does with that, as ADC bans are now going to come out from the side of Test to TD Blaze.
Okay, yeah, it's Lulu. I was thinking, why would you ban Jinx?
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense. But the Lulu ban comes in, really nice ban. That way you can stop the Lulu from completing. Lulu is just a strong support right now. She can buff anyone in your team. Not the Samira can benefit from that, the Nocturne can benefit from that, the Zed can benefit from that. So taking it away, it's good. The Yasuo we expected, because Test mid laner is a Yasuo one trick mainly, so it just makes sense. The Echo ban is one I'm surprised. I think you can give that leave that up and give a comfortable matchup against it, but if they're really scared of it, I can understand just taking it away. But now we need to know what mid lane they will be choosing, because Galio gets banned, first of all, and Galio last time wasn't really that much appealing, so we need to see what Test decide to go for this game with the mid lane and the jungle.
Yeah, now that they have one of their solo lanes grabbed already, Vegeta should be the one to get the blind, or not the blind pick, but he should be picking here, because the Nocturne is up. So whoa, hold up, Veigar's gonna be hovered here. This is gonna be pretty interesting, and he's gonna take it. Wow, that's very surprising. With the Nocturne being up, I expected a jungle counter pick, but I guess
the thing is,
really
Nocturne is still, they don't know that if Nocturne is still can go to jungle, just because Diana, like Nocturne can go top, Zed can go mid, and you can send something else towards the jungle, like this Diana. So I think it's the correct idea to give Vegeta the counter pick, just because I wasn't impressed with their mid laner last game, Gamma with Gamma last game. So I think giving him the blind pick on something like the Veigar that can scale better, and he doesn't need to try and do anything proactive. He just needs to be safe and scale as long as he can. So that makes sense. And give Vegeta something that he can carry on, something comfortable, something that he can just outpace the enemy jungler and try and make plays around the bot lane or around top lane, since you have a Fiora as well.
Ooh, Malphite's gonna be grabbed here for TD Blaze in the top lane. It
That
looks
could be a
like.
Malphite soup, actually.
Ooh, it could be, but I severely doubt it. Set
Yeah, the synergy is
it.
not as good with Samira also.
Yeah. So Set gonna go into
Ooh.
the support role here. Warwick jungle. I love this pick. In my
I
opinion,
haven't
Warwick
seen
is
that in a
such
long
a
time.
sleeper pick. He's such a sleeper,
I know.
honestly, because he scales super well. You get really tanky, and Sunderer is super strong in this patch too. But Malphite is a counter to Fiora in that, you have the E attack speed slow is super debilitating. Also
And
with the
Malphite was
seismic shard
buffed,
slow.
right?
Yeah, he was buffed. His W
He
was
was
buffed, so
buffed
it
this
does like a
patch.
little bit more extra flat damage.
Yeah. So he can he can take better trades in lane, and I think his W is also one of the parts for his armor scaling, I think, as well. So it would make sense to go that against the Fiora. But I gotta say, I'm not really, I don't really know what to expect with the Warwick, but I feel like that is a pick that can be fully used at this. I don't want to say at this level of play, but at this level of play, because it's not a jungler that you typically see people understanding how to punish it really well at around this level. So I feel like he can get away with just clearing really well to level 6, and then just trying to get ganks with his ultimate and anything that he can. And like you're saying, the Sunderer is going to be really impactful because he's a really good user of the Sunderer passive.
Yeah, I'm surprised they picked the Samira into the Leona, being Leo is a small counter into Samira.
Yeah.
But if you can, sword swirl away the Zenith Blade from the Leona, then you kind of stunt her engage overall in general. Fiora is going to go against the Malphite. That's not going to be a fun time for the Fiora, not going to lie. If Fiora can get the vitals off, then the Malphite should lose. But with the slow and the attack speed slow from Malphite, it is going to be very hard to try to get those vitals in harder to reach places. Vagar versus the Diana. It's not going to be a fun time just because the Diana, like the dash, it's really fast. So it's hard to interrupt it in between.
And based on the last game, I feel like Kaiden can get a really easy solo kill on Gamma Knight. Like, I feel like if Gamma Knight ever miss positions on walks too far forward, he will be so susceptible to Kaiden getting on top of him and killing him. So he needs to try and play as safe as he can, obviously without disregarding minions, but he just needs to stay alive. As long as Diana doesn't get any kills, the matchup can be really good for him.
Yeah, I expect him to probably take a safe summoner like Exhaust or Barrier.
Yeah.
And then just power farming very well in this lane. Just because Vagar still has a lot of impact even if he's not doing damage.
Yeah, his cage is
all
so
he does
massive.
is he farms really well. If you can farm very well, your cage does wonders. Because most of the time on Vagar, you usually do QEW max because your W has a 100% AP scaling. So you don't really have a need to max your W. And in most fights, you'll probably only get it off like about once or twice with the cage available. Yeah. Warwick, I definitely expect to see him with focus bot side a lot just because you'll be able to get them pretty low and you'll be able to get your W movement speed off. But overall, both compositions, they have a lot of scaling. They have also a lot of early aggression. So I'm very curious to see how both these teams play a little bit differently with these different compositions from last game.
Yeah. One of my fears, or one of my kind of points of interest in this game is if the Fiora will focus on split pushing if she ever gets the opportunity to. Because some people try and overforce committing into teamfights, and Fiora wants to be the split pusher. She wants to run away from every teamfight and just focus on the side lane. So I want to see if the side from Test focuses on having the 4 members playing away from the Fiora as much as possible and giving the leeway to Fiora to try and pull and do what she wants to do. Because if not, you're going to fall into the game of TDE Blaze, and fighting against a Malphite and Nocturne as said, as a Mira, a Diana in a teamfight is not what you ever want to try and do, especially with a Fiora.
Yeah, both these compositions have slightly varying playstyles because the Warwick can pretty much gank from pretty far distances as long as they, get pretty low or he pops his W within a certain distance. And Nocturne also has a lot of ability and lockdown with the fear and the paranoia. And both teams have really insane team fight. Like the team fight for TD Blaze is insane if they group up, while Test probably should opt more for a kind of split push the map kind of style, being Fiora can, also build Sunder. So you
Yeah,
have double Sunder. That's going to be a lot of damage, tons healing, tons of percent max health damage. Being the most likely, the set will go full tank, and Malphite will also go full tank also.
yeah. I expect a Chem tank from the set and Malphite to go for Frostfire, just because the effectiveness from both of those two spells can be higher. But like you were saying, the Fiora and the Warwick, they like Warwick can teamfight better than the Fiora, but the Fiora really doesn't want to teamfight ever. And the Sunder build from those two champions can be so good against the Malphite in a side lane. So if they are able to just isolate the Malphite with the Fiora, the Warwick can come in, get the kill, and then with his W active, he can just try and run out into the other side of the map as quickly as possible. So they have those kinds of opportunities to play the map that way. I hope they try and play that way, but I feel like they are going to fall into the trap of just trying to teamfight.
Yeah, man. As the spectator delay does go down here, we'll be taking a quick little break as we get ready for game 2 and we load onto the Summoner's Rift. Welcome back, everybody. There was a little bit of choke brain fart there, but overall, nothing too crazy. As we start getting onto the rip, both sides are gonna kind of looks like the TD Blaze are gonna look for a little bit of cheeky something there as they go for a
Nice.
top invade and Test go for a 5 point. Fior is gonna be in there. She ain't gonna see them coming in until like the very last second here. Gonna
Why are you
toggle
doing
the
that?
vision. She's gonna run away here, but okay, yeah, she's just gonna run away. Whoa,
Yeah.
Warwick. He's gonna spot out, gonna put a ward on his red buff, but it looks like nobody's gonna get taken down quite yet. but it looks like they're just gonna go there. They're gonna get a ward down near the Raptor pit, so that's gonna be very nice. But it looks like Test are setting up a little cheeky stuff of their own here. It looks
Yeah,
like
a counter, a counter invade.
counter cheese.
Yeah,
Oh, Nocturne, buddy, you're going into the wrong neighborhood. Toggling the
Samira is
vision.
not
He's not
here.
gonna see it. He's not gonna see it. He's gonna walk straight into him. Oh, there goes the cage. Gonna get a 4-man face breaker, but Nocturne's gonna go down for the first blood. Zell probably gonna have to burn his flash here before anything else
Ooh.
comes out. Oh no, not gonna have to. So they're
Yeah.
just gonna leave it at that. And red buff gonna be gone for the Nocturne, and first blood going over to the Warwick.
Yeah, and it's not only the first blood, it's also the first buff. The red going into the Warwick, so now even the jungle clear from Anderson Cooper on the Nocturne is going to be so much more awful than it could have been. And all of that happened because the level 1 invade from the side of TT Blaze, which was a good idea, was so badly executed. They tried and go in without actually going towards the wall, and if they do that, the Fiora probably doesn't run away. But because they went in so badly, so wishy-washily, they ended up showing before the Fiora just runs away, and then they set up the counter invade from the side of Test. I gotta applaud Test for going for that play because they knew that they knew where everyone else was. Oh, engage bot lane.
Bot side here. Facebreaker gonna go onto 2 here. Zenthblade going straight onto Zell. Zell gonna get taken down to half health, but he should be fine. Pot's gonna get popped up. But top side here, obviously, Fiora is gonna go in for like these really, really aggressive trades as mid lane also Chitin kind of walking up, asserting his dominance here as Anderson Cooper is gonna go vertical jungle here.
Yeah, yeah. Warwick wasn't there, so now he's red. And really importantly, with this Drake being able to that far behind from the Warwick, if you see, he's actually one minion ahead from the Warwick, which is kind of surprising. And with this jungle camp that he's going to be able to secure, and also pretty much the birds because the Diana has the push on mid lane, he should be able to be ahead of the Warwick in terms of camps.
I'm really surprised the Warwick went for a full clear instead, because if he went for his buff, if he went like buff,
Buff to buff, yeah.
and then went to his red buff again, he would have caught him out there. But it looks like Gamma Knight's going to come down here. There goes the Shroud. Not going to quite catch him, but it is going to spot him there, so pings are going to go down. Warwick
Ooh, nice
is
stage.
not going to go over, but bot side here, there's going to be a lot of aggressive fighting. Facebreaker going onto the Kaisa here, but Cleanse is going to come down. Toxin's going to get real over. Facebreaker's not going to look in the land. Ward's going to go down, and Shade's going to finally get the kill. Zenblade going to go straight onto the Set here. Set doesn't have any cooldowns left, and that's going to be a 2v2 kill there for the side of the Test bot lane.
Yeah, and Shade played that as best as he could. Oh,
Aggressive. Oh, he's gonna flash off forward, gonna get the punch. Aggressive gonna try to do as much as he can, but looks like he should die here. Facebreaker's finally gonna go out. That's the last thing he's gonna do as Vegeta Sama does send him to the grave. Chitin is going super aggressive here in the mid lane, gonna chunk him down to half health. Nocturne went topside, went for a little bit of a cheeky gank here with the Warwick bot, but Warwick has a shutdown gold of 150, gold lead up, and about 1k already for the side of Test.
And all of that are the 2 kills that he picked up. I wanted to say that Shade played that as best as he could, and he executed pretty well. He had to go for that place. I was disappointed on Toxin because he cleansed so late. He used his blade. The ability is called Blade Quarter, right? Yeah, Blade Whirl against the Leona so late, and he ended up not denying any damage at all. So he played that really badly in comparison. And because of that, they were almost able to get a kill, even though everything was kind of badly played. But the Kaisa, the Leona, really well done. And then Cell goes in for the counterplay against the Kaisa, gets the kill. So it's not that bad of a situation. But once again, we're seeing kind of a repeat on the first game, where we see the bot lane playing as well as they can, but the rest of the map feels kind of disappointing, to say the least.
Ooh, there goes the Hex Flash there for Zell.
There's no flash.
Not gonna quite do anything. The Hex Flash, but Anderson Cooper's gonna land the Q there. Not gonna quite get too much done on the gank.
Yeah, and Gamma Knight is getting bullied on mid lane. Every time we pan over there, it's only.
Nice. Yeah, man, that Diana match. It's very hard to dodge the Crescent Strike just because, like, you know, being gonna flash on forward with the Crescent Strike, gonna get the E reset, Moonfall going down, and Chitin is gonna get the solo bolo in the mid lane while also getting the flash out from his opposing mid laner.
as soon as he hit level 6, he goes in for the play, instantaneous. They're setting up a top lane gank.
Yep, top lane here. Feathers and Fur gonna
Nice
get slow,
flash.
gonna flash, but there goes the key. It's gonna follow through, trying to hit the vitals. Gonna go Q in straight for the last vital here as Vegeta-sama picks up his 3rd kill of the game at 6 minutes.
Yeah, really nicely done. I like Vegeta-sama this game being a little bit proactive, going into lanes, ganking, getting his laners help. I think that's something that the previous game he had some windows to try and do, but he didn't do. So now he's going more for this, and now stealing the jungle. I really liked seeing Vegeta-sama doing this, and I like the gank top lane because I think if you give the Fiora a comfortable position in this game, then she can try and play. You can try and play better around her more easily.
Yeah, the Warwick is doing a very, very good job of punishing the fact that Nocturne can't really gank all that much early, and he's kind of playing on the opposite end of the maps, constantly looking for these kills pretty much everywhere around the map besides mid lane. So Warwick is Vegeta-sama is 3-0 already, has the PTA, which I didn't mention before. He is doesn't really have a CS lead for himself, but he does have a pretty significant gold lead, up about 1k on the opposing jungler. It's about 800 gold lead for the entire team in general. But Nocturne is gonna farm up. He is about halfway towards level 6, so he should be kind of looking towards the mid lane. But mid lane here, as I say it, the Kite is gonna get a kill there. Feathers and Fur going in. The Rock is going right on top.
Yeah, and I love that play from Feathers and Fur. He knows that the top lane is being pushed. He just pushed away, so he now roams towards mid lane instead of staying there and doing nothing. Gets the ultimate on top of the Veigar. Veigar doesn't have flash. Easy pickup. 2 kills for Diana now, and she is one of the good champions to have a win condition on because she will be really impactful in teamfights. She can kill the Veigar and the Kai'Sa really easily, and if you get her ahead, she will be able to impact the map.
Yeah, man, just the carries overall. But top side, Swift Cypher is going to pop the Grand Challenge. Vegeta-sama coming back around. Going to get the fear down. He's going to pick up his 4th kill of the game. As he starts running, he's just going to face check. Moonfall is going to come down. Going to pick up a really big shutdown as Diana is going on a killing spree.
Yeah, and it goes on on one of the champions that you... I thought maybe Cell was going to engage there. I was so expecting to go on. But he has Flash and Ignite now, so he can probably pull it off. And Toxin is level 6, something that Kai'Sa and Leona aren't. So they can probably be aggressive and go for a play there, but really respectful from them, knowing that the Veigar may be going bot side, so it's still overall really well by them.
Yeah, Kaiten is really, really big now. Now he has a lot of these crucial kills, and Gamknight is not going to have any more of a fun time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I expect Zell to kind of just flash on forward, go for those really aggressive plays just because you have Hex Flash. But now he is going to miss the Phase Breaker, but there goes the Xenoblade on top of him. Phase Breaker not going to do too much there, but there goes Toxic going in with the Blade Whirl, but Killer Instinct going to go onto the back line there, while Inferno Trigger not going to do too much there, as Shade does pick up another kill for himself in the 2v2.
Yeah, and once again, Toxin flashes out of the fight for some reason before actually pulling off his ultimate, so he doesn't really ended up doing anything with that. And Cell goes in with the flash to try and get the engage. He fails the engage, and Shade and aggressive then... Ooh.
Oh, there goes the paranoia on the Leona. Nice she is going to get caught out. She does have the flash. Nice. Kill going to get donated right over to Toxin there.
Yeah, really well. That's... Even though Toxin hasn't been playing that well yet, it's still nice to give the kill to your AD carry, someone that will eventually... And to me, it feels like Toxin is probably a better team fighting AD carry than he's a laning AD carry, so giving him the resources for the later stages is probably the better option. And with that, I think they should be able to also secure that late. Yeah, it's almost done, so that's still a really nice gold influx towards them. Really well by the Nocturne to use ultimate, and this is something that I feel we didn't see that much in the previous game, is the Nocturne ulting before 15 minutes when he just reached level 6, so this is nice to see. They also have Herald, so they may be able to push even further.
Yep, Herald's going to go down in the bot side here. Tower shouldn't quite fall as Warwick is coming down.
Warwick
so this
is
going to be a 3v3 party. He's going to buffer the Zenith Blade bomb to the Nocturne, but Seth's going to get taken down here. But going to get the suplex right back onto the Warwick. Going to get a lot of damage, but Toxic's going to win. Going to take a tower shot, cleansing way too late. Anderson Cooper going to get chunked down. Dustblade going to hit both of them here, but he is going to flash forward. God damn it. Direct camera is going to mess me up, but looks like it's going to be a 2-for-1 in the bot side for Test.
Yeah, and that could have been, honestly, it should have been a 3 for none on bot lane if Toxin can play that better. He, for some reason, dashes in when he already had the S tier stack on the Samira to be able to use the ultimate, but he just dashes in without having to. He takes a third shot, he ends up dying. The cleanse, once again, it's wasted. But overall, nice play by Anderson, Cooper, and Shell. Shell was so close to dying, but before he dies, he uses the Haymaker and the ultimate. Oh, wait, Vegeta.
Oh, looks like Vegeta-sama might get caught out here. Gonna get feared up. Gonna get face broken. Kaiden's not gonna get the dash. It's gonna be interrupted. Gonna fly forward. He does have the dash reset, but Moonfall's gonna go straight down. But Killer Instinct gonna buffer it with the damage. Let's see if Game Knight can't pick up the kill. Gonna flash out forward. Finally gonna get the shutdown onto Diana here. Game Knight is gonna get feared up, but gonna get stopped with the stopwatch there. Toxin trying to get the S-style as fast as he can, but kill gonna get claimed by Anderson Cooper as Drake is up here, and this should be Cloud over to the side of TD Blaze.
Yeah, they should be able to secure it really easily. And right there, Gamma Knight was so pissed about all the deaths, all the previous deaths. He just goes in with the flash, gets the ultimate kill. He gets, I think, the shutdown on Kaiten, which is really important for the Veigar, even though he's going to take a little bit more time to be able to be impactful. It's still really valuable. But like you were saying, this is a Drake for TD Blaze. They are now closer to Soul Point, and a Mountain Soul at that. It's something that your Malphite would really appreciate, as well as your set.
Yeah, top lane here. Another more aggressive fighting Swift Sniper. Doesn't have the. He
No
doesn't
flash
have
on
any
aggressive,
mana
no.
yet, but oh, look at that. Egress here gonna get taken down once again. Face Haymaker gonna go straight in. Exhaust going onto the wrong person, but Egress here again gonna get caught out for the second time. It looks like.
Yeah, and something that I think I missed on calling out was the fact that the bot lane turret did fall down, so now the Diana can just go towards the side lane, and who wants her? Who is going to fight her alone in RC? It's going to be so hard for her, and you can now move. Ooh, close.
Ooh,
You
almost
can,
gets stolen. Almost.
yeah, you can now move your Samira towards mid lane with yours alone, and the set can now go with the Nocturne as a two-man squad and try and get anything they want on the map with the Diana if she ever wants to come through. So it's prepping up something. Oof.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2k gold lead right now for TD Blaze. The Veigar can't really sit anywhere in a lane by himself just because
Yeah.
either side laner is pretty much going to tap him. Like looking at Gamma Knight, honest, like the way he's farming, he's not really like what you would like to do is you get like 2 minions really low with just purely autos, but it looks like he's going to start doing that now. Baleful Strike, stat counter about 84 here, but it looks like top side here.
Can he
Warwick
get the
is going to
solo?
get
He's
engaged
alone.
upon. He does have his ult, and he does have a lot of healing. So is he going to try to turn it around here?
Oh,
Gonna interrupt it. Unstoppable. Going straight onto the Nocturne. Nocturne going to get shut down here. Going to flash Haymaker for some reason. Not have any stacks. Gracebreaker only onto one. Swift Striver trying to kite out as much as he can. There goes the suplex, but one more auto, not quite gonna hit it. Get an ult there, not too confident in landing his skill shots. It's gonna be a 2 for 2 or 2 for 1 for this in favor of this side of Test, as Chitin is gonna be on the bot side getting a bot tier 2.
Yeah, he will still get the bot lane turret. And Feathers and Fur, that's so sad to see. He was walking forward. The play was a good idea. They were getting to be able to get on top of them really easily, but he fails the Crucial ultimate right there. And if he doesn't fail that, Anderson Cooper probably survives. They are able to get 2 kills really easily, and then Gamma Knight was already playing.
Oh, look at this. There goes the paranoia. Chitin's gonna get into the range, gonna get the kill with the Crescent Strike. Aggressive a little bit too tanky for comfort as they have to back on out there. Gonna get the ADC kill, nothing else to fight for. But back to what you're saying here again, man.
What I was saying was that Gamma Knight could have died, but more importantly, I want to focus on Anderson Cooper is that this is a really huge difference from this game, from last game to this game in terms of Nocturne, because as soon as he has Paranoia, he is using it. You're not seeing Paranoia taking more than a couple of seconds to being procted, and they are going for these kind of plays, not alone, but with the support of Kaiden, which is ahead. He can be split pushing on the sideline, but he's already rotating, going for the play with your Nocturne, and this is why they keep getting more and more ahead. It's just because they are playing better around these type of cooldowns and these type of champion advantages.
So, looking at item build now, this is very interesting. Essence Reaver is being built for Swift Cyber. I feel like he could go for it.
Wait,
but
why? Yeah.
I I think he's going for Triforce now, which is going for Gore Drinker, which is a little unusual, but not too crazy. It's still pretty good for the
Yeah.
split push, and the set's going for Stride Breaker, which is gonna make him even more dangerous as he's basically just gonna be a second bruiser here. Still gonna try to see if he can Q on forward here. Gonna get chunked out a good amount there, but looks like mid lane here. Shade might get hit there. Ooh, he does get hit with the crest.
He
Going
can
quite
go
send it.
in,
Mid lane
yeah.
tier 1 is a little bit low here. Swift Cyber is still in the top side, just kind of split pushing away. Drake's going to be up. It's going to be a Mountain Soul this time around, up in about 40 seconds here as a lot of visions get taken down
Oh no,
and set
Feathers and
up for
Fur.
TD Blaze. Ooh, Feathers and Fur, where are
He
you?
did.
You're going to
Ooh.
get caught out in the jungle here. What are you doing back there, man? Mid tier 1's going to go down for your death, so you did not die in vain. But ooh, Set's gonna see if he can go over here, but just gonna face breaker the air, gonna try to do that on top of a minion there. So as the rest of the oh, this is a death bush. This is not good. They're gonna get spotted
Oh,
out here.
nice.
Paranoia's gonna go straight onto the
They got the
Kaisa
kill.
here. Gonna get a lot of chunk onto Anderson Cooper, but not gonna do much. There goes the Inferno Trigger. Gonna get a lot of resets off. Double kill over for the Zaya there, and a double kill going over to Anderson Cooper, and that's a 4 for none and a Drake for the side of TD Blaze.
Yeah, and Soul played at that. Really impressive team fighting, really nice idea. They set it up. They were setting the previous push as a death push, but they just moved a little bit forward and set that push as a death push. Really well done. They don't care about the top lane turret because it doesn't really matter at this point of the game. They already took down 2 turrets, so they have complete leeway to be able to give away that turret. And they were setting up this Drake for so long. They were able to just move into the Drake pit. They had so much control inside the jungle, so they knew what they were going to do. If not for the fact that Feathers and Fur died previously, then that could have been even more easy to execute. But Toxin this time around goes in really well, gets the Inferno Trigger really nicely, and like I was thinking, he's more of a team fighting AD carry. He can execute these team fights better, and just overall TD Blaze itself, they are playing as a team, aside from Test.
Yeah, right now, right now, Vagar does have his mythic item now.
Yeah.
Stat counter about 118, only about 222 AP, so nothing too crazy. Rift Herald is gonna go over to the side of TD Blaze. Anderson Cooper gonna pick up Shelly there. Expected to drop into the top lane. Top lane tier 1 is pretty much 1 Herald charge away from being taken down. They're gonna set up some early Baron vision here. So they're gonna set up nice and early. Top side here, there comes a collapse. Vegeta Soma Hakai gonna pop the W, gonna get some movement speed. But oh, looks like they're not gonna get any vision. The Scar's going to Moonfall. Gonna get that's a lot of damage. But he's gonna go over. Oh, Rain is gonna get taken down by the Fiora. Toxic gonna flash on forward there. There goes a 2-man takedown for Unstoppable Force. Vegeta Sama gonna flash down out here, but he is gonna die here. Inferno Trigger gonna go down once again, and that's gonna be a rampage for Toxin. Teleport coming in from Gamma Knight. This is going to be a very, very good collapse. Stun goes onto the Malphite. Malphite is going to get taken down here with the ultimate. Suplex going on to the Kaisa here. But there's going to go a shutdown. Kaisa's going to pick up 1. She's going to pick up 2. And that's going to be an ace at 19 minutes for Test.
Yeah, and just like that, they get an ace back. They're still behind in gold, but just as I was thinking that they were getting outplayed everywhere as a team, they come and do this play really well done by them. I think most crucially, Sweet Cyber played that as perfectly as he could, denying the CC, then denying some of the damage with his W, and then the Warwick was able to get his ultimate off against the Anderson Cooper with that surviving long enough so that the Nocturne was going to die later. And then it was just an easy collapse from both sides. First, the side from TD Blaze were able to just collapse on top lane, get the 2 kills really easily, and then the counter collapse from the side of Test, just securing the 2 kills. Is he going in? Yeah, whoa.
Oh, that's another one, but the damage from
Fiora.
Whoa, we're gonna get the final knock. I'm quite get it.
Oh, nice.
Kaisa's gonna go on in, and that's gonna be a solo bolo.
The outplay potential. Wow. That was so close.
That was crazy. That flash was so well timed from Kaiton to avoid the last vital for the heal there.
Yeah, like both of them had to play like that to be able to even close to that being so close. So it was really well done by both of those sides. I feel if Kaiden is not as far ahead as he is, because he was still 1 level ahead from the Fiora, then he will lose that. I think that Fiora cannot play that better. But overall, really nice play by both of them. And sadly for the side for Fiora, she now dies. She's out of the map, and the Diana is just farther ahead now.
Oof. Then a 6, 2, and 5. Up about up about 3k gold on his lane opponent.
Oh,
Paranoia
nope.
is gonna get popped again here. Everfrost is gonna miss, gonna get a little chunk
Bye
out to
bye.
Anderson Cooper, but he is gonna go down. And that should be a little bit more bot priority for the side of TD Blaze. As bot lane is
No,
gonna get pushed
Kaiten.
down here. Top lane,
Oh,
wow, that's gonna be a lot of damage. Swift Cyber is gonna get
yeah.
hit with the Moonfall, gonna get a little bit sloppy there with the outplay this time around here. As bot inhibitor tower is gonna get sieged here. Shelly is gonna get popped. This should be 1 or 2 charges. Top tier 2 is also gonna fall. Tess is losing everything here, and Shelly still has not gotten a proper charge off.
Yeah,
This
she
should
has
be a
full
proper
health.
charge off into the Nexus tower here. Shelly should be taken down here. Couple force going only onto 1, but gonna get a really big stun. Zell gonna get taken down. Haymaker not quite gonna come out, but the Rift Herald's gonna get another charge off here, and that's just a little bit of a oopsie daisy for Tess.
Yeah, but TVD still can have priority on the Drake. Oh,
Oh, Vegeta-sama gonna go in. Gonna get a 3-man fear here. Toxin getting styled up, getting up really hard. Shade's gonna try to
Diana
go
is
in. Shoulder Flare
coming.
not gonna quite hit anybody here. Killer Instinct could go in, but Diana does have a little bit of a flank if they do push forward a little bit more aggressive. They're just gonna back on out here.
Okay.
Gonna spot out Kaiten once again. He is gonna get locked up into the bubble, but wow, the Veigar does
Nothing happened.
no damage. Barely pops the shield there. As this is gonna be Soul, a Mountain Soul for a Malphite and for the rest of TD Blaze.
Yeah, it was already hard to kill the Malphite, the Nocturne, and the Zed. Now try that with the Mountain Soul. Even though they get the turrets with the push with the Shelly, oh, they're going for...
Oh, there goes the Paranoia. Gonna get taken onto the the flash forward from Anderson Cooper here, but he's gonna flash forward, gonna get with the Riftmaker, but there
no.
Moonfall gonna go straight down onto Shade, but he's gonna flash out now.
Shutdown?
Ignite went down. He should go down here, but now there he goes. That's gonna be a double kill for Kaiten. And Zell's gonna flash on over the wall. This should be the end of the game. A stiff breeze should be able to blow that inhibitor tower. Swift Cyber, can you outplay the rest of this team here? Unstoppable Force is still up. Gonna get a land a double one. Gamma Knight gonna go into the Zanyas there. Not gonna live for much longer. This is gonna be a clean 2-0 sweep for the side of TD Blaze as they start getting a couple more kills, patenting the stats. GG's coming out. And then Nexus will be taken down for the last time. Whoa, one more kill gonna go over. But this is gonna be a clean sweep for TD Blaze and the rest of the Cloud House.
Yeah, and fully deserved. Cloud House now gets on top with some really good play from his teams. Now TD Blaze showing again really nice play. Overall, just the better team won this series, and I feel like TD Blaze just played so much better than whatever the side from Test were trying to achieve. Everyone working together as a team, really well done. Even though Toxin and Cell kind of underperformed in laning phase, the rest of the teams were able to just push them back up. And with that, their control of the map was really good. Their decision making was really good. Their team fighting was really good. So overall, really nice series by this team. I want to give credit to Test, though. I think like Shade and Aggressor are a really good bot lane, and if they play around them a lot, then maybe they can achieve more with their games. Gamma Knight should be more put into a supportive position with as a mid laner to try and help the bot lane achieve more. Vegeta Sama had a lot of early good ganks, and I feel like he had a lot of a really nice early game. It's just that the team difference was that huge, and I think that Sweet Cyber also tried to play well. But as a Fiora, it's really hard to try and keep your team in the game because if you fall down, if at any point you fall down, it's really hard to get back up just because of how the champion tends to work. But if you're really ahead, then it's really nice to play.
Yeah, after that first solo kill, going for it a second time, it was just a lot worse a second time there. Kaiten just constantly roaming around the map, being in the right place at the right time constantly, pulls his team over the finish line, getting the 2-0 sweep against Test in this time around. So it looks like now TD Blaze is going to go 2-0 so far, undefeated week 1, week 2. in the series. They are going to have one loss on their record, just one game loss, not a series loss, on their record, as the rest of team where Testable does go down the rankings. They are going to go down 0-2-0-4 in games. But overall, this is going to be it from us tonight on the desk for sophomore class week 2. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for junior class at 8 p.m. EST for as Legend Spartans and Zenigma get onto Rift to play another best of 3. And we'll see y'all tomorrow.